I opened my eyes and I was hungry. Really, really hungry. Shiny was already up and in the kitchen. He came through the back door with a jug of something that smelled yummy. We went to the white box, which by now I learnt was called a fridge. Shiny filled my breakfast bowl as usual and then poured the contents of the jug on top. It made my breakfast warm and taste even better than it normally did. I barked that I wanted this stuff every morning. Shiny laughed and said that I would only be getting gravy after he and Mum had had a roast. I hoped they were having roast again that night. On to the usual game of push, and I was ready for Shiny's trick. Instead of going for his arm or hand, when he extended his arm, I lunged and nipped him on the chest. He squealed in delight and was obviously enjoying the game this morning. A few more of these had him up and saying that word again. Game over. Barney 9, Shiny 3. Mum got up and let me inside, and I watched in fascination as Shiny got ready for work. I had decided not to take a dump today in line with my new policy. Despite my best intentions, however, nature caught me unaware, and I just had to go immediately. Shiny looked over just as I was finishing off and started yelling at me. Mum came flying around the corner and whisked me into the backyard, as Shiny started the same routine as the day before yesterday. With all the commotion, it was clear I had been right about doing it every second day. I wasn't sure I'd be able to manage that. After Shiny had gone to work, Mum came through the back door with what looked like a barrel on wheels. She went back inside and came out with a grey snake that had a wide, flat head. Mum had it under control, so I wasn't too concerned. She got the snake's tail and somehow joined it to the barrel, and then gave the barrel a kick in the guts. It came to life with a mighty roar, which almost resulted in me having a second dump for the morning. Mum shouldn't have got it so mad. She was wrestling with the snake and it was hard to tell who was getting the upper hand. The snake's head was moving backward and forward all over the place, gobbling up anything in its way. I ran and hid in Barney's tunnel before the beast could get me. For 5 minutes or so, Mum tried to contain it. Then, with one more mighty kick to the guts, she silenced the vicious animal. I ran out from behind the little house and barked, "Take that!" at the now silent beast. While Mum disposed of the body, I went over and told Cow of the adventures that had just taken place. I showed it who was boss, I said to Cow, and he smiled knowingly. He was such a supportive friend and never had a bad word to say about anybody. While Mum was having lunch, Shiny came home from work. I wondered how he got paid for only working half a day. He went into the bedroom and came out dressed in really old clothes. If he planned on going back to work with those on, he might not get paid at all. Shiny disappeared into the garage and came out with another monster. This one was red. He seemed to tease the red monster, who didn't like it one little bit. It roared at Shiny, telling him to stop it, and then it was on again. This monster was just as hard to control as the one Mum had fought in the morning. It raced all over the backyard, eating up everything in its path, just like the barrel snake had done earlier. What a dangerous place to live. Mum and Shiny should really think about moving to a safer house. The fight went on for about 15 minutes until Shiny finally managed to soothe the beast and everything went quiet, but not for long. Shiny took the monster out the front and it happened all over again. It was another 10 minutes or so before he finally managed to silence the beast for good. After all of the commotion of the day so far, I thought the safest place to be was Barney's tunnel. Shiny went back to work. Thankfully he'd changed back into some better clothes. And I went to the tunnel and slept most of the afternoon. When Shiny got home from work the second time, I heard Mum tell him they were having barbecue for dinner. This made Shiny very happy. He went to the fridge in the garage and got out a bottle. He poured the contents into a glass, sat down at the table in the garage and began to drink. He obviously liked this drink very much because in no time at all it was gone. He went to the fridge and got another bottle and the cycle started all over again. I went and sat in the garage with Shiny. After the second bottle he started to talk to me. "Nothing like a good pig's ear to wash away a week in the public service, Barney," he said to me. I never knew pig's ears came in bottles, but I wished I could have one anyway. After about 4 bottles of pig's ear, Shiny got up and walked over to another barrel on wheels and opened the barrel in the middle. He fiddled with some knobs at the back of the barrel, and seconds later it roared to life, spitting a ring of flame around its oval shape. Shiny went inside and came back with a tray of meat. For a minute I thought I was getting a second dinner. To my dismay, he put the meat in the barrel of fire. After a couple of minutes, a lovely smell came from the barrel, and I realised this was what barbecue meant. Shiny turned the meat from time to time when he wasn't drinking more pig's ears. The more he drank, the happier he became, and after a long sip he began to sing this song. Barney Barnesto, you are the best-o, better than the rest-o, yeah. He sang the song over and over again as he turned the meat and drank pig's ears. After a while he took the meat out of the barrel and into the house. I followed right behind, hoping I might get some. I contemplated tripping him up so he would spill the meat and I would get a great feast, but something inside me told me this was taking it a bit too far. Mum took the meat and put it on plates with other food, and they both sat down for barbecue. When they had finished, Shiny gave me a little bit of meat which was left on his plate. It tasted great, and I wished there was more. I wondered why humans didn't eat everything on their plate like dogs did. Silly, really. That night, as I was drifting off to sleep, I was thinking of ways I might get meat when Mum and Shiny had a barbecue. The pig's ears seemed to make Shiny happy, even a little silly, and I figured that this was an opportunity I might be able to use. I also wondered whether my brothers and sisters had had barbecue yet. I drifted off to sleep with a smile on my face.